Hey, this is Jamie Mayfield here. Hi. I'm back in my studio and I was going to show you guys how to cast on to your brand new circular sock knitting machine. Brand new, antique, same thing. They all pretty much work the same. They kind of have different operating systems. This happens to be a Laguerre 400 with a 64 cylinder. And I have in front of me a 72 cast on bonnet. You know what? It's not a problem. What I'm going to try to do is hang a loop on every other needle. Now, if you do the math, your cast on bonnet, setup bonnet, whatever you want to call it, it has, this one, for a 72, it would have 36. See how that is back there behind that yarn carrier? Don't do that. That's silly. Okay. This one has 36 loops, but if you think about it, if I'm using a 64 slot cylinder, I only really need 32 needles, 32 of the loops to use for my cast on bonnet. So that means, and the goal is to put a loop on every other needle, but sometimes if your numbers don't work out right, you need to put a loop on every needle. Okay, now I'm going to skip a couple just to show you what would happen if you didn't listen to me and hang a loop on every other needle. So I've got my yarn threaded through the machine. I'm going to go ahead and bring it on into the machine and drop that tail down in there. Now I have to hold down on the setup bonnet. Okay, right now I have more loops to hang. Remember that the ideal is to get a loop on every other needle, but this is a 72 setup bonnet, and setup bonnet and cast on bonnet mean the same thing. So I'm going to hang my weight on there, and remember I left some off so I could show you what to do in that case. Okay, so this is 1 stitch on 3 needles. Now, cylinder needles will always try to repair themselves. If they do not, you could have put a bar on this middle needle, or you could have raised the middle needle, crank around, then lower the middle needle. Okay? That's a super easy way to cast on if you have a setup bonnet. But let's say your machine did not come with one and you don't have a clue what to do. Okay, now, just so you know, if you want to know more about how to use a circular sock knitting machine, you should probably go to, well, first of all, like and subscribe to this video series, or my YouTube channel. Let me just try that again. It's my first rodeo. What if you didn't get a setup bonnet with your machine? Okay, so I brought the yarn in, and what I'm doing is I'm just creating some sort of a star. Now watch what I do with my fingers. Okay, this is going to teach you a lot. Do you see how I've got pull down? Okay, now look at all those stitches that did not knit. But remember, cylinder stitches want to try and knit. So when you get to this point, or a little before right here, you can take these bars and hang them on needles. Okay? And try to keep some downward pressure going. Let's see. Let's put a bar right here. Put a bar right here. And what we want to do is even though we're putting these bars up here, we need to keep some downward pressure going on those. Okay, now as always, we still have a big mess, and this is very wasteful to do this like this. Okay, see how there's 1 stitch on 2 needles? We're going to fix that like this, or we're going to fix it like this. There's 2 different ways to fix the same problem. Okay, doesn't matter which way you use. So after I do this, let's see, I like to do it like this. It's just easier so I don't, because if I raise the needle, then I have to go back through and lower it. But what I'm doing is just going around and putting bars up on needles. And I'm still holding down with my fingers. Okay, now if I raise the needle and go by it, now I have to remember to lower the needle. Let's see how good we're going here now. Well, I can also drop one stitch off of that needle. Okay. Another way to do the same thing. That's about the first thing you're going to learn when you're casting on this machine. Now, you need to cast on and get to a point where you can hang your stem weight or put your buckle on your work in order to be able to change yarn. But I was saying the first thing you're going to learn about these machines is that there are many, many different ways to do the exact same thing. The key is to pick one way and master that task and then go on to the next one. Again, this is Jamie Mayfield. If you want more in-depth sock machine training videos, go to socktv.tv. If you like what you saw, remember to put the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.